I here to see? Not me, that's for sure. Celebrities here?
Boo! Boo!
No, Patrick. Boo. There we go. There we go.
Save that for Sunday for the Royal Cup. Hey everybody, welcome to this restaurant we rented out. Yeah, this is the Giant Bomb Premium Experience. I just made that name up right now. You like that? Is that no? It's bad. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we put this out to try to get some of you guys in here. It's like thanks everyone for signing up and being a member. Get some of you premium guys and gals in here to hang out, as opposed to just like the ramshackle, like let's go try to take over a bar and then that bar was on fire as it turned out, and we were on Twitter telling people to go to the bar that was on fire, and now we have to find a bar that's not on fire, and it's been a grand tradition with us for years and years now. And as a result, we've finally, shown people enough like video and enough like, here, this goes bad. A bunch of people show up and they're like, oh, well, maybe if we gave you some money, we could do. So here we are. I don't know. This is hopefully the start of something big, and we'll see where it goes. So thanks everybody for coming. Yeah. So for the people at home, it's like we're letting everybody watch at home. So hey, everybody at home, hello. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Hey.
There's one there.
Yeah. How's it going? I'm Jeff Gersman. I'm joined by Brad Shoemaker here.
Hello.
Alex Navarro. Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Other people wooing so I don't have to. Thank you.
Ladies love Alex Navarro. Dan Reichert is here. And all the way from the dirty streets of Chicago, Patrick Klepek. South Side. What is that?
Not South Side.
Not South Side?
Not South Side.
What part of Chicago are you from?
Not South Side.
Okay, all right. I hear it's rough out there.
We don't go to the South Side.
Okay, all right. Good. That's where the White Sox are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No one likes the White Sox.
Yeah.
No, that's why you don't go to the South Side.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
exactly.
Nothing else. There's just like
Yeah,
White Sox roaming the streets, just like hitting people at
it's
bats.
just people
it's a
in
mess.
Frank Thomas masks just trying to beat the shit out of each other.
Good pull.
Steve Sachs.
Timely.
Was he a White Sox?
Probably.
All right.
Steve Sachs probably played everywhere.
All right.
80s baseball. Who wants to talk about it? Ruben Sierra. Who's in? What number was Ruben Sierra? What position did Ruben Sierra play? No. Okay, yeah. It's like,
Galarraga.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, he played quarterback. That's exactly right. So, we've got our panel tomorrow night. That's, going to be a big-ass weird show. Those things get a little impersonal because there's so many people there. So it's good to have a smaller crew here. So thanks everybody for coming out tonight. We asked people for questions before the show, and some of you wrote absolute garbage onto these cards. So we'll be reading your garbage later. But first, why don't we talk about PAX, which we certainly won't talk about tomorrow night from a larger crowd. So we went around and saw like a little bit of stuff. I don't know what. So we had our panel this morning. Dan and I were on the GameSpot run Danny O'Dwyer's Game Journalism Hunger Games. Can
we clear up what happened there?
I just want to say for people who
who
were there or weren't there,
Yeah.
we lost once in a double elimination tournament. So as far as I'm concerned, we're still in it. The beard was the.
I don't think the Irish understand the concept of a double elimination tournament.
No,
it's unfamiliar to them.
Double elimination is 2 bottles of Buckfast.
Right.
So
broken against your head.
Yes. So we'll have to clear that up at a later date, I guess. But yeah, we went and did that. That was a great time. It was good fun. A bunch of people who don't claim to be game journalists on a panel about game journalism.
Was it really about game journalism? You did a bad job.
Well,
kick him out of here?
I think a lot of that just speaks to, like, our line of work is at a weird crossroads. It has been for a long time, and it's a lot of other websites can't do what we're doing right here tonight, and I feel pretty good about it. But you know, it's a lot of it's in transition. You know, a lot of it is figuring out kind of like the transition out of the old way of screenshots of wrestlers and
going
all
away?
that other stuff. Yeah, we're not going to be
coming back.
We are not going to be able to.
Yeah, way
Dan's
more.
saying we're gonna have more.
Way more. Yeah.
He's been uploading them.
Well, okay, we can upload all we want.
Yeah,
it's just it's not. You can't build a business around it the way that we were able to at the turn of the century. Like literally, the amount of traffic that would come for 3 screenshots of Christian was out of fucking control. So you know, that's a long time ago, but that's kind of the mentality of like the publisher assets and that sort of stuff. It's like they're running all that stuff themselves on their YouTube channels, and that whole business has to change. I like to think that we kind of planned for some of that stuff because I've been watching it crumble for a lot of years now. And when we were building the site, we kind of thought like, well, let's not do the dumb shit that we had to do before. That was actually literally it. I like to think it's like a big plan of just like, we saw it coming, but it was literally like, me and Brad and Vinny and Brian kind of just going like, we don't want to do any of that shit anymore because it was terrible. It was not fun at all. So let's just not do that. And let's build a site where we don't do that. And then we just built a site around basically the concept of like, well, On the Spot was really fun. What if we did that as a website? So that's kind of how it went. I just want to say, again, just thanks to everybody for coming out. Like it's we're just everything's at a crazy crossroads, and we're all trying to figure it out. And that's I feel like you guys are really helping us to kind of figure out where all this stuff goes. Yeah. So anyway, we did that thing at PAX earlier where Dan lost at Towerfall.
I did.
And
I own that. No, I straight up lost. I
They
lost.
shamed us at Towerfall.
basically, it was.
First big event we send him to, and he fucking loses.
I know, right?
I'll leave.
Yeah, Mr. Competition.
Yeah.
All
Uploading
super
wrestler
competitive.
screenshots.
Hey, this isn't
Yeah,
Mario
that's-
Party we're talking about.
Yeah, no, that's
The
a game
beautiful
that matters.
That's the beautiful game.
Yeah,
You could do a whole panel just playing Mario Party.
I fucking do that.
50 turns that take the whole time.
50 turns.
I just think like if you pitched that panel and it got accepted, I would be like, what's getting turned down? If they're like, oh yeah, 50 turns of Mario Party, yeah, put that on the list. Like, no, come on, it's got to be more than that. So we went and did that, and then promptly left. I don't know, like we went around the show floor. It just seems like it's getting more and more packed. How many people are actually going to PAX here, and how many people are just happen to be in town? Okay,
Vast majority, all right.
most of you are at the show. And it just seems like it's getting more and more full, right? I mean, becoming Comic-Con. I'm not imagining
It's
that.
Friday, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It's not even the weekend yet.
This is supposed to be when people stop to work and they're like, I couldn't get off, so I couldn't go on Friday, but we're going the rest of the time. And it's really crazy on that show floor. I don't know. We made our way around for a little bit. Patrick, you got us to head over to the Indie Mega booth where we saw this amazing Oculus game.
Yeah, I still don't know the name of it.
It's a
But
really long name.
It's
no one.
Keep talking
and no one explodes.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking, and no one explodes.
all day when I've been telling people, I was like, let's keep talking.
It's a bomb game.
And yeah, so it's this Oculus game where one person puts on the headset, and there's a bomb in front of them, but they don't know how to defuse it. And then the other people around them are looking through this manual that has instructions for how to defuse the bomb.
And that's actually just paperwork. That's not a video game. That's like they have printed out things about how to disarm the bomb. So you're like flipping through a binder going, fuck.
Okay, so if the third wire is red, then you have to turn it like this way, and then you have to cut that wire.
So,
and
they've written all these convoluted rules about what to do with each different device on the bomb. And it ends up being sort of like Space Team, where
it's like Space Team, and it's nice because you're constantly yelling at each other. I really liked how very quick. So Dan put it on first, and Jeff assumed immediate control over the situation.
As he does.
I'm cool under pressure.
And like
when Dan is involved, it's important that somebody take the lead.
That was kind of true because we were figuring out like how do you even begin this whole process, And Jeff just like grabs the manual and just like starts yelling at Dan to try and get him to explain it.
I had no idea what you guys were looking at, actually. I understood
Right.
there was something written down, but I didn't realize it was a big-ass like binder that you're flipping through maniacally. But I had the easy one, it seems. So it seems like it's not like
Yeah, you started with the beginner bomb where there's only like, what is it? There was a set of wires that you had to go like, okay, well, so basically he's looking at it and saying like, I see wires, and there's a red one and a blue one and a yellow one, and so we're looking, okay, well, if it's in this order, then you need to cut this one, and then that's it. So, then tell him to cut the wire, and then there are like 2 other devices on the bomb, each with their own different arcane, weird rules for kind of solving that part of the puzzle.
And we solved that one pretty quickly. Like we felt really good about it.
Yeah, I came out of that thing going like,
I'll take credit for that.
I came out of it
did
going like,
defuse
this
it.
game's fucking easy as shit, whatever.
And then they gave us the normal bomb.
Then there's the normal bomb, and so when you're looking at the bomb, it's divided up into sections, right? So you have like these different modules you're working through, and each module is a puzzle. So like, do you want to do it again because you solved it so fast? We're like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay, so I'll put it on. And this one has 6 modules. We spent half the time just trying to pick a module to start on, and then the one we picked, you guys just kept telling me, pick the second button. I'd be like, pick the second button. Like, I hit the second button again. And like 6 minutes later.
Yeah, we blew up the second time.
My experts were not reliable.
Yeah, so there was a wording change. So it was like basically like you had to push each button's like 6 times total. And on the third one, some of them was like, if the second number is 2, then push the button you pushed last time. And then the next one said, if the second number is 2, push the button that you pushed again last time. And then it became like, push the button with the number on it that you pushed last time. It was like a subtle difference. But you're like, in the heat of it, you're like, this is the same shit. Just keep pushing the button. Just keep pushing the fucking button.
All of everyone's answer was just, I don't know, hit the second one again. I was like, that's not working.
It's like, no, keep hitting it.
Bomb blew up in my face.
Like it's a weird thing because I don't know. Like Dan was saying after we left that actually would work kind of almost as a Wii U game.
Yeah, I mean, the only important thing is that the person defusing the bomb is seeing something that no one else sees. So, like, you could have a gamepad and be using the stylus or whatever to cut the wires.
Or even an iPad. Like, if
Right.
if it's an iPad game and you're loading up the manuals somewhere else, like, it's just the idea that it's on a second screen. But it's a brilliant way to, like, that captures that space team mentality of getting a bunch of people to scream at each other very, very quickly.
It seems like more of an actual game than Space Team. Like, Space Team's hilarious, but this seemed like an actual game. You're actually doing something.
Yeah, well, I feel like as they updated Space Team and started adding there's like a competitive mode and there's other stuff. Like Space Team became like way crazier.
It got a little too convoluted. Like it got a little away from like the pure madness that I remember that first time where we downloaded it, yelling at our Bluetooth connections because you can't, like when you have 3 people connected and you can't get that first person to just like have their phone get recognized.
Yeah.
But it's a really great idea. It's in the Indie Mega booth and the tabletop section that largely has like card games that are being played, and there's just one section with an Oculus Rift, and it's fantastic. Like it's probably the best thing I saw at the show today.
It's the only thing I saw at the show today. Did you go around and see other stuff or what?
I played Bloodborne.
Okay.
And then so excited. So I see Bloodborne there, long line, and I tried soft adopting a policy. I use soft because then sometimes I break it. Is that when there's a line of people, they've waited in line, they've paid to be here. I have done none of those things. I'm not going to jump in front of the line that they've been waiting hours for. But then I saw Bloodborne and I said, fuck that, I'm going to jump in. And so I ran into someone and I was like, can I be that guy? So I did. And so I'm playing it like giddy as shit. And Brad, to your point, the frame rate does seem a lot better in this build.
It was terrible at E3.
Yeah, it was not great at E3.
Yeah.
It's never going to be 60, but it's pretty solid.
Okay.
But so I'm playing it, and then like I spot Drew out of the corner of my eye, and I'm really enjoying my time with it. And I was like, hey, let me show you one of the cool things in it. And so like one of the neat things you can do in Bloodborne is that when you see mobs of enemies, and in Bloodborne you're dealing, like in Dark Souls, Demon Souls, you deal with maybe 4 enemies at once, like at a maximum amount of time. In Bloodborne you can have like 8 or 9 guys. So when you see these mobs, you can throw rocks. So you can throw a rock at a guy, and it won't alert the whole mob, it alerts just one of them. So you can slowly start bringing a mob towards you as a way of aggroing them.
So the big innovation this time around is they stole that thing from Far Cry Blood Dragon?
Yeah, and they added guns.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I see that, and so Drew walks over, and I'm like, oh, let me show you this cool thing. Like, and you also have like Molotov cocktails, and it's like, let me show you, like, I'm gonna take out this whole group. throw the Molotov cocktail. I only take out like one of them. A group of 8 like bum rushes me, and then 5 minutes into a demo that they'll let you play for like 40 minutes. Died, it kicks you out to the end of the demo, and it's like, oh, you should probably leave. And I was like, oh. It was very sad.
What?
I did die real fast.
God?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Drew, Jason?
That doesn't sound like Drew.
I don't know. I hear voices coming out of nowhere. Like, are people fucking over there? Like, I don't know what's going on over that away, but it's getting weird in here.
It's getting steamy.
So, I mean, how much like Dark Souls is that thing?
It's Dark Souls. Like the big difference is the nuances of the combat. So in Dark Souls, some folks will play it. Well, they'll play different style of characters, but by and large, the sort of default thing that people play Dark Souls is you play a tank character, big armor, big shield, big sword or axe or whatever. You take hits and then you strike back.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it works. And in Bloodborne, they're trying to get away from that. They want you to react and attack constantly. So one of the big changes is that when you get hit and your health goes all the way down, sort of like in a fighting game, you can bring back that health if you counterattack. So when you get hit, if you attack back really quickly, you can get like 3/4 of your health back. So you don't have to necessarily run away. You can engage in the combat, and as long as you're remaining part of that, you can recover from a series of hits and get back most of that health. So that's one of the big things. It's also just not a blocking game. Like you don't block. You know, like you're constantly in the mix and you're moving around really fast. The other thing they have is like combos are a much bigger deal. So like the weapon I had, when you tapped L1, it extended from a short sword to a long sword. So you can start an attack where you hit R1, start a fast attack, tap L1, it extends out to a long range attack, then finish with like R2, which is like a heavy attack. And even at the end of it, bring it back in, so then it's a short sword again. So you're kind of like parlaying a bunch of attacks together. At the end of the day, it's about making the game faster. Like they're trying to get people out of the turtling mentality that dominates a lot of the way that you play the Souls games.
And it seems like the Souls games, I mean, are versatile. You don't have to play them that way.
No,
That's just kind of by default.
Every time I
most
said
people
this, people
try
are like,
to.
that's not how I play the game. I was like, yeah, but that's how most people play.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, but you've also finished the game 8 times, and now, of course, you're not playing it that way anymore.
Right, but and it's also like when a game offers an opportunity to play that way and it's successful, like yes, you could play the game a different way, but if the game doesn't force you to do that, you may not necessarily do that. Whereas Bloodborne is saying you just can't do that anymore.
Right.
So it forces you fundamentally to change your style, but you bring over a lot of your tactics from the Souls.
Yeah, and you still have to be careful. Like that's the key thing. You can't just fuck around.
I was like, oh, I got this. I've played several of these games and then immediately died.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of fun. It's beautiful. It's a Souls game. You pick up souls.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I played some WWF No Mercy today.
Yeah. Hot new game.
Yeah, hot new game. It's really bad. I don't know. Like,
No,
it's-
jeez.
the
You're the
graphics
only
are
person
terrible.
who's ever said that about that
The
game.
roster's,
That's not true.
The roster's
Wait,
really out of
is
date.
No Mercy one of the acclaim ones?
No, the acclaim
No,
ones
it's
suck
not one of
ass.
the good ones. It's one of those.
Whoa, wait, Warzone and the
I don't give a
Attitude?
shit about wrestling, and I will fight that.
Warzone and Attitude looked like real. The models look good.
Oh, thank you.
When they walk to the ring, it looked like television.
What are you talking? When was the last time you played this?
I mean, at the time, for the standards
you
of
have
the time,
cataracts?
for
Do
the
you know what
standards of
television
the
looks
time,
like?
I mean, compared to this N64 shit, where it's just like 22 kilohertz, and guy with a fucking face twisted up, going, yeah, running to the ring like a little troll.
So did you
Those
like-
acclaim games might as well have been fucking photorealistic in comparison.
So were you
Except for
like
the part where they played like garbage.
I could do Stone Cold Stunners all the time.
but did
It
you
was like right down circle.
Did you like WCW Backstage Assault more than like Revenge, like WCW NWO? It's
No,
fucking
I'm not.
great.
I'm
It's
not
awesome.
crazy. That's,
Okay.
But Mayhem was all right. It was a decent attempt at least.
It was an
The
idea.
acclaim ones are fucking terrible. It's like you're trying to do Mortal Kombat fatalities in a shitty engine that does
You know
not
what's
recognize
good?
anything.
Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Yeah.
And you know what's
In
not
Mortal
good?
Kombat. In
Acclaim
Mortal Kombat.
trying to make Mortal Kombat into a
yeah.
wrestling game.
Yeah. Or Mortal Kombat.
I don't
at
like
all.
agreeing with you, but you're right.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Acclaim making Mortal Kombat.
Well, I don't like
that's-
you, but you know,
They
this
put Weird
works
Guy's
out.
head in it.
If only we had some competition where I can prove my superiority soon.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Okay. See you Sunday, buddy.
Yeah. No, I actually won't see you on Sunday because you're not gonna make it out of the Rumble.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that last practice session we had, I won.
Hey, we don't need any spoilers about that.
And I won
no
the
one
other
needs to know
three
about
that
that
we
stuff.
played, so
Yeah, but you're not in the Rumble.
I
so
know. I'm just saying.
I'll just get to you, and then we'll figure it out.
I got
Yeah.
Linda McMahon like fucking 6 times while we were practicing. Like, what do you
Yeah,
expect?
and I got Earl Hebner, and I still won. So
That's true. I think you like kicked Andre the Giant out as Earl Hebner.
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows what we're talking about.
We got in some practice today for that thing because I play that game once a year and go the whole time. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did with the rest of the day. Brad,
Hello.
I feel like this is the first time I've seen you
Yeah.
this entire
Yeah.
trip.
Been adrift on the
Where have you
wind.
been?
Yeah, you were running around with your Dota friends.
Yeah.
Running around with a bad crowd, man.
That fucker. Yeah. Like that fucker.
Yeah.
You've turned our boy into a miscreant.
And now you're gonna turn Disney Infinity into a MOBA, aren't you? Okay, all right. Fair enough.
It'll
Then
sell.
maybe people will buy it.
That's not even true.
I know it sells really well. Like it really sells well. That thing is fucking crazy huge. It's ridiculous. They'll hire anybody to work on it. Brad, what have you been doing?
Speaking of Dota, where's Matt Kessler? Yes, sir. I can't talk in front of people unless I can see Matt Kessler.
No, it's in his rider. It's the whole thing. Yeah.
only the brown Matt Kessler is in my dressing room, please.
Yeah.
Take out all the other colors.
Is he the Ghost Banana guy?
Yes, that's
Okay,
Mr.
all right,
Ghost
we're
Banana.
good. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet
I
you.
knew
yeah.
what you were talking about. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, Ghost Banana.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I got to chat with that guy.
No, they melt. But I like ghosts, as it turns out. So what have you been up to?
I don't know. I walked around and saw stuff.
Yeah.
What'd you see?
I looked at that new Saints Row.
Yeah.
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 Gat out of hell.
So they sent us, I guess like last week in the mail, we got a bunch of purple candles, a Ouija board, and Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell.
In what format?
Like they
CD.
CD.
Oh.
They
Vinyl
sent
guy?
a thumb drive with MP3s on it. Like, what do you? They ripped it and said, "Here,
8-track.
fuckers." And so at that point, I looked at it and said, like, well, that means the next Saints Row game is going to be you going to hell. Turns out, what do?
You
Man.
go to hell.
You go to hell.
Yep.
That's the problem with video games. Any idiot can predict them. You stare at them long enough, you know exactly how it's going to go. What's it look like?
So I mean, what do you know about that thing?
Nothing.
It is-
I mean,
okay.
Under the name, and I
Okay,
know they're re-releasing Saints Row 4
No.
for
Okay.
for PS4 and whatever, and Xbox One.
Okay, it's $20.
Yeah, it's like a standalone expansion.
It's
thing.
made by High Voltage.
Oh.
So all the times over the last couple of weeks that they were like, "Hey, Volition's unveiling a new game at PAX,"
They were talking about the
really
fucking
did
re-released.
this thing a disservice.
They were talking about the re-released
Yeah.
Saints Row 4 on
Yeah.
PS4 and Xbox
Yeah.
One.
It's called a re-election.
Yeah, re-election.
right?
Yeah, and this thing is going to be in there. To be fair, sure.
It just seemed like they maybe overhyped.
Yes,
When you
absolutely.
say Volition is announcing a new game, I don't think an expansion to your old game.
yeah.
I'm still probably it's gonna be fun. I'll play it. Whatever.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just-
it'll be fine.
I don't know. Just
But-
seems a little overwrought.
What does the Saints Row vision of hell look like?
It looks a lot like Saints Row 4.
I was gonna say, like, is it Steelport but red?
Well, that's what Saints Row 4 was, and yes.
No, Saints Row 4 was Steelport but like blue.
After you took it over. It started
you're
out
right.
red,
It
right?
started out red. You're right. Okay, yeah.
So walking up to that thing, I was like, "Is this Saints Row 4? What am I looking at here?"
Man.
I mean, there's a lot of new, billboards and.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. That's really exciting.
I mean, you play GAT, so
Oh, great.
you
Yeah,
don't
no.
even make a character.
I guess
I don't know how I feel
was
about
was
this
reading
thing.
up on it a little bit. It sounds like that your character will be in the game and it will import from
Okay.
from Saints Row 4.
So your
into
character's
it. So
in it,
your
you just
boss
don't
will be
play
in
it.
it.
But
It
I
has-
think you are saving your character. I think like Satan has him, and like you as Gat have to save your guy. So,
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that at some point, like I feel we've talked about it before, but Johnny Gat seems like the most superfluous character,
Yeah.
like needless in Saints Row at this point.
Well, but who gives a fuck about any of the like characters really? in
Ah,
Saints
there
Row?
are good
like
characters.
I-
in Saints
Kinsey
Row.
Kensington is
They,
Matt Miller.
no. They have
she's a
done
nice
it-
girl.
They have done something marvelous with that series where they have taken characters that meant nothing in the first couple of games and done this Fast and Furious thing where they have turned them into people you genuinely like.
Who?
In like 3 and 4.
Who?
Kinsey, I like Johnny Gat, fine, he's superfluous, but like all the side characters in those games have become increasingly awesome over time.
Except for Pierce.
Oh yeah, but that's the joke with Pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pierce is fine.
Yeah. Pierce is what it is.
Also, can they afford Daniel Day Kim anymore?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, did those
get it
games
for a
do
day.
well?
For a $20 expansion, I don't
Like,
know.
well, like, who the fuck is Daniel Day Kim? What's he doing?
Hawaii
He's
5-0.
on, yeah. He was
Fine
on.
CBS
Yes.
show.
Yes, a
Fine.
fine CBS product.
He's very busy. Very busy. Is that still on?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, I think it is.
Have you
got a
seen the
poster in our
poster down the
office.
hall from our office?
I mean, there's like a Dave Letterman poster there too, and that's
Yeah.
probably going to be there for years
They've
to
got to
come.
fill time, man.
There's like Albert Einstein on one of the posters there. I
Yeah.
don't think he's still on
Like
CBS
Walter
either.
Cronkite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that's after Saints Row 4. Like
Yeah.
I think they put themselves in a position where they need to reboot.
Yeah.
And
Like they can't keep one-upping themselves over and over. You know?
Yeah, and like that just doesn't. I mean, a standalone expansion is probably like the right move. At least they're not trying to turn it into a full game. Because Saints Row 4, like at one point, some of those ideas were going into an expansion. And I don't know. That just seems like stretching it a little thin.
Yeah.
And that kind of bums me out.
This is really like.
I mean, I want to see it for myself, obviously.
Yeah.
But just like the concept and all that stuff, like that doesn't move me.
Yeah, I mean, I took one look at it and I was like, you might have gone back to the well one too many times with this thing, but we'll see.
Is Keith David in it?
Not that I saw.
Damn.
I don't know.
I feel like they like to hype up that DLC expansion stuff though, because like Enter the Dominatrix, they really like pushed hard. But I actually never played that. That was for.
No. That was
the initial, like what 4 was going to be was the Enter the Dominatrix expansion,
Right.
And then they just liked the superpowers so much they made it the full game. But then they super hyped up this DLC, which I don't know if anybody ever played.
The DLC in those games is never.
Yeah, I
very
mean,
good.
the DLC in 3 and 4 was both pretty junk.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
the like
so it's not
yarn
great.
thing, the Professor Genki
The
stuff. like, it was never
Christmas
great.
one was pretty good. The rest of it, not so much.
Ah, okay. Yeah, at some point I was kind of checked out on the DLC because I felt like the story wrapped up in a way that it was like, I don't know, man. Like I just don't really want to go back to it.
What I worry about is it feels more largely indicative of a trend with Deep Silver, which
Yeah.
is to
'cause it's
acquire
reflected in
franchises
Dead Island.
and then stretch them a little thin. Like Dead Island is a MOBA, Escape from Dead Island, a like cell-shaded action adventure game, comes out on the 360, PS3,
What?
and PC in like October.
Are you just fucking making games up now?
No, that's a real
That's
thing.
what news editors do.
They're like,
Yeah, no, I know. You've got your agenda, and you make up all kinds of shit that
Exactly.
fit the agenda. No.
So that comes out this year on last-gen platforms. Then they're also doing Dead Island 2, and it feels like they're trying to expand really, really quickly in a way that maybe those franchises cannot support. And like Saints Row is hyping up an expansion that if it was just an expansion, you announce it, you know what? I'd be excited for a chance to go back there, but it's the way they're presented that those franchises don't justify that necessarily. And
You're
so, like,
right,
Deep
but
Silver
I
is
think,
stretching
like,
it.
yeah, separately from the way they announce it and the way they roll it out, though, I mean, Saints Row 4 is so similar to Saints Row 3 that, like, doing something like that again on top of this, even if they are kind of doing the right thing and making it a smaller expansion thing, I still think is getting close to the line. Like, I don't know about that. And again, I think like Johnny Gat like became a really needless character as they made the boss character so much more of a psychopath and a lunatic than Johnny Gat ever was. Like that was the whole thing in those first 2 games. Like, oh man, Johnny Gat's fucking nuts.
Well, in the first 2 games, your character didn't really talk at all or do anything that much, did he?
Exactly.
Yeah, he was just an
He was
avatar.
silent and had like 1 line per game. It was
Yeah.
like a Silent Bob joke, basically. So by the time they just made him talk, like they didn't need Johnny Gat anymore. So to like the way they pulled him into 4, like the mission where you got him back was really awesome. But like from there, like it was just you didn't need it. So I don't know. Like it's a weird direction to go in. Like I think there's like something really cool you could do with Johnny Gat, something really cool. But like that's not it. So
We have so many opinions about Johnny Gat. Really
I
strong
spend a lot of
opinions
time.
about Johnny
I
Gat.
spend a lot of time thinking about Gat, and it's we just don't need him anymore. We just don't need. We've
Sorry,
outgrown Johnny
Daniel
Gat
Day-Kim.
as a people. I think we've.
Pete Gat.
Yeah. We just.
Yeah,
don't-
dive kick is where he belongs at this point. Like that's where he fits in.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. Yes. That has been announced, hasn't it?
He was
Yeah.
just yelling it, so yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Wow, you're really up on your dive kick news.
Yeah, I'm really staying up on it. Real big stuff. They don't even have a booth this year. Iron Galaxy abandoning its fans. What's up with that? No, I don't know. Whatever. They got Killer Instinct or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a weird direction, but it's one of those things that I think is also like they're doing that re-release, and I think that's like my problem with this generation of consoles right now is like they're re-releasing Sleeping Dogs, and like it's stuff that you look at it and go like, oh, that'll be like that's a great game. It'll look better. Like console owners will probably have a great experience with this, but it's like it's kind of sad in a way because it feels like we're just overly relying on these old things that came out on the PC and going like, well, why don't we put this out again? Because there's this huge gap where video games should be, big video games should be anyway. I mean, like they're filling the gap with Towerfall and all these other kind of smaller games. Yeah, Metro's another case of just like, like I feel like we're getting HD re-releases way earlier in the cycle, where it's just like they're leading with that shit and just going like, I don't know, man, let's put Sleeping Dogs out again. Because there's nothing else out and maybe we could probably make some money. That'd be cool.
We need to make some money.
And that just, I don't know, that bums me out. Like as someone who bought both of those consoles, like I didn't buy them to play games that like I played on my PC a year ago or played on old consoles. Like I'm not looking for, like here's the same game again and boy, it sure slightly looks better, but still not quite as good as the PC version.
Well, it's the equivalent of when you get like a new video card and it's like, well, I'll pop that on for about 15 minutes. Like, that looks neat, but I already did that.
Right.
I don't need to go back there. Like, I at least bought Sony's line of, like, porting Last of Us, porting Journey. Like, they have seen, the numbers show the amount of people buying PS4s did not necessarily own PS3s. So there's a meaningful reason to bring some of those games over because people didn't experience that stuff. But the fact that this is happening across the board with so many games,
it just seems opportunistic. It seems like third parties going like, there's money to be made.
I think there's a good way to do it, though. Like, you look at the Halo Master Chief Collection that's coming out, and that seems like a substantial, like, we're not just doing a game that came out a year or two ago. We're doing 4 games that came out over a long stretch of time.
New cutscenes, like they're laying, like, Easter eggs, and like, at least, they're doing all stuff with the multiplayer maps. Like, if you're going to put in the effort.
Yeah.
But that's also the problem, like, what Jeff's pointing out, is that the games they're bringing over, they're just, like, bringing the PC version of that game to new machines.
Tomb Raider,
easy.
basically.
Yeah, that stuff, like at least with Halo, they're doing a bunch of stuff, and maybe that'll be a little different. But I guess like when it comes down, like I don't know that I care that much about Halo to really get excited about it. So
you're missing some impressive stuff.
Is that good enough for you? No. No.
Oh God! Oh!
It was empty.
God. Good Lord.
Jesus Christ, bro. So we have a batch of questions here.
I think you called them garbage.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of hot
Stack of
garbage.
garbage.
So why don't we take a few of these and then we'll talk a little more, huh?
Emails.
Give it to us, Brad. Come on, give it to us. Deliver it with
Emails.
needs that Brad Shoemaker timber to it.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. When he says it, I like almost like have a weird twitchy reaction.
Yeah, like a tick.
Yeah. So these are bad questions. Saints Flow or Adrenaline Overcharge XT? I don't know what that other one is.
That's
Saints Flow was the energy drink that they sent out as a promo item.
Yeah, no, I know what Saints Flow is.
It's the Sunset Overdrive.
That's what we have here. There's
That's
like
not even a
8,000
question.
cans of it here.
That's not, well, he didn't put in a question mark, so it's actually not a question.
It's actually not a question.
But also, that's not a question. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Did anyone ever drink any of those cans of Saints Flow they sent out promotionally? Yeah,
No.
I don't know. That's,
I had one. I've
I
never
mean,
had
the
energy
game
drink,
is dancing cans.
I've had the
I guess,
overcharge.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
I mean, like when it comes down to it, both of these are like, the cheapest energy drinks possible with like weird labels wrapped around them to be branded, and that's like it's never Red Bull.
You're basically drinking
It's never
paint
Red
varnish,
Bull.
so-
You're drinking like knockoff Red Bull, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Good question.
It's pretty
Yeah,
tasty
paint
with
varnish
vodka,
is
so there you go.
delicious with vodka. It's fantastic.
Well, here's a scintillating one. Blue cheese? No.
No.
Counterpoint.
I like
Yes.
blue cheese.
No.
Blue cheese is poison.
It's gross.
It is poison food.
There's sometimes when I get hot wings, and I don't like blue cheese. I think it's fucking terrible.
It's gross.
Yeah, but I ate a bunch of those wings, and it came with a bunch of blue cheese, and I'm like, well, I mean, they have to have packed this in here for a reason, right? And tried it, and sure enough, it knocked down some of the spice.
I think I know the answer to this, but if you had a thing of blue cheese and a thing of ranch and a bunch of wings, What do you dip your
It's
wings
not
in?
even a question.
Nothing. No, I'm not dipping wings in anything.
I thought you just said you were dipping it in blue cheese.
No. I was just eating blue cheese after to get the wing taste out. You dip celery in the blue cheese when you eat it. You don't dip
That's
the
not
wings
for the
in
wings?
the fucking blue cheese.
You put wings in the ranch. Yeah, ranch. Yes.
Yeah, the ranch.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Ranch.
Ranch is.
I'm gonna try not to abuse this power.
We have
You absolutely should
Just
abuse
constantly
this power.
abuse that power. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we have a
Why
claim
else is
here.
this gonna keep happening?
We have a claim here. Apparently, ranch has mayonnaise in it. Ranch has mayonnaise in it.
Guess what? Mayonnaise is delicious.
There's no way that's possible. This is just completely false.
No.
Just whatever you got to tell yourself, Dan.
Okay.
Dan
it's working
Reichert
up
is on the
here,
wrong
so.
side of history when it comes to
Mayonnaise is
mayonnaise and ranch
disgusting.
dressing.
Ranch dressing is disgusting. They're both bad. It's terrible.
The only
You're gonna
condiment
look
you
at
like
me
is
about
ketchup.
something related to food and go, "What are you talking about?"
You're fucking weird about food too. We've talked about this. You have your weird food hangups too.
That.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
both insane.
You might be weird. I'm more open-minded about food than you.
I got greens on my sandwich yesterday.
For the first 10 years I knew you, you did not eat lettuce.
Yeah, that's largely still true, but sometimes I'll get some in me just to fuck around. I don't know.
Like,
hey, let's party, man.
a
Let's get
few
loose.
years
have some
ago was
lettuce.
the first time I ever saw you order a salad.
Yeah,
ever.
no, I was just doing it to freak people out.
And it worked.
I can eat a Caesar salad. I'm not above it.
I ate tongue last night.
Hot, dude. Yeah, that's some kiss and tell type shit. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
It's a really bad joke I can make right there. Is aioli mayonnaise?
Let's see, how are those words spelled? Oh wait, those are completely different words. One has 5 letters, one has like 20. Like, yeah, those are completely different words.
So Dan, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't know that either.
It's really some unassailable logic you've got.
Yeah,
There.
no, it's I don't know. I don't like aioli either. I'm consistent in this shit.
I've only had
Ranch
garlic
is
aioli.
bad. The whole thing. It's no good. Oh, this is I actually know the answer to this question, but has Drew been to the Museum of Flight here in Seattle?
He was so sad. He really
Yeah.
wanted to go this year. He just
Yeah.
didn't have time.
No, it's one of these years he will plan his. He was talking about this yesterday. One of these years he will plan his flights appropriately, and finally have time to go to the Museum of Flight. They have the space shuttle. That's pretty cool. Why don't they have that?
Wait, which space shuttle? Is it one of the good ones?
It's a fake space shuttle.
When you go C3, you can go to the one.
Is it
in LA, then
Discovery? I don't know. What is
Okay.
it? Discovery, Columbia,
I think Columbia is no longer with us.
Posh Spice.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so he's not been, but that's hopefully someday. Hopefully someday. These are. I don't know. You are organizing a heist. Who takes which role? How does it end? That's from Alex in Quebec City.
Huh. All right. What are the roles in a heist?
I mean, you got the
got a wheelman.
You got someone monitoring police band and security stuff, like
Okay.
computer type shit.
Well, I feel like based on the bomb defusing, you'd probably be the radio guy.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can't run. I have asthma, so yeah, probably keep me either behind the wheel of a car.
Now, is this a heist with innocent people, or is this a heist where you're just breaking into something after hours?
All heists eventually involve innocent people.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's like a Heat where you're having to have someone like calm a crowd, or is it just you're breaking into something?
I mean, you're breaking into something. How about
All right.
late night, cowboy scores,
All right.
that whole thing. So
Wayne Grove.
Wayne
yeah,
Grove.
yeah. Cut this motherfucker loose. Yeah, I don't know. Like
I'd be the wheelman. I could do that.
Yeah, you can drive. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
can drive.
I'd want to, like in Commando, when they have to rob the gun store and he just gets in a bulldozer and drives through the wall. That's what I would want to do.
That's not
Yeah.
a heist.
He stole
That's
a
an
bunch of guns
assault.
from no.
They
It was
heisted
closing
guns.
time.
You can do that at a jewelry store.
Yeah.
Smash. It's the ultimate smash and grab. It ends in tears and bullets. All heists do. Don't commit crimes. Like that's.
Yeah.
Alex, how is the Giant Bomb East setup going? Excited to see what you guys do. That's from Kyle K.
It is going pretty well, actually. I think the only thing left to do at this point is finally build that PC we got some wrong parts for. But apart from
I
that,
saw that.
Yeah,
That was good stuff.
yeah, it was really good. It's
was
great
a hot
content
stream.
that we made. No, I mean, so we have the studio pretty much exactly set up. It's pretty rad because like all we have to do is just bring controllers into the room. Like everything's in the control room. It's very easy to do. He can navigate everything from a laptop. It's great.
Yeah.
We just actually need a PC that works now.
Yeah. So that'll be coming eventually here.
Yes.
And yeah.
And then we'll have to move again.
And then we'll have to move again. Yeah, that'll be good stuff. So you guys are in the TV Guide office.
The TVGuide.com offices.
Is there a separate office for TV Guide?
Yes, because apparently they are separate brands.
What?
Okay.
TV Guide is literally owned by a different company than TVGuide.com. Business makes no sense to me. I don't understand how any of this
I mean,
works.
at one point, like Ziff Davis and ZDNet were two separate companies of magazines and websites and stuff, and like, you know.
Does ZDNet even still exist?
ZDNet was bought by CNET. That's how we all became CNET people.
Okay.
And then CNET got bought by CBS, and now here we are.
And hilariously, the CBS Interactive offices are now in a building where Ziff Davis used to be.
Of course,
in
of course.
in New York,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's exciting too.
It all fits
everyone
together.
here.
It's a rich tapestry.
Yeah. So, you guys are getting set up out there. Vinny's not here with us. You might have noticed.
No, he is not.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you must have noticed that by now. This is not, no.
Like, wait a minute. He's not. The fuck. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. Vinny is out for a little bit. He announced this on
Yes, he
that
did.
stream that no one saw probably.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. He is expecting his second child pretty soon.
Let's hear it for pregnancy!
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I don't know, maybe that's happening right now, or maybe it'll happen next week.
As far as I know, it hasn't happened yet. I'd
Yeah.
like to think he
Wait,
would tell
cut
me
to the
when it
live
happens.
stream.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll cut to the
but
live stream of the delivery room right now.
It's just his wife screaming and swearing at the camera, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's a hot stream.
It's content.
Yeah. So he's taking care of that, which seems pretty important. I don't know. And so he can't be with us. But yeah, you guys are getting set up out there.
Yep.
How did he end up with his voice on some TV Guide videos? What the fuck? What are you guys doing out there?
Well, so they do voiceover stuff from time to time, and I guess they needed someone to do it because who normally was doing it was not there. And someone said, hey, Vinny, could you just do this? And Vinny Caravella does not say no to anything.
Yeah, okay.
So that's how that happened.
Okay.
He doesn't know how to say no.
Yeah, no, that's,
He makes it work.
Yeah, he does.
yeah, okay, cool.
All right.
It's barely even a question. I don't even know what's
Were there words on there?
Patrick, what does your hair look like when it's wet?
I know one way to find out.
Oh yeah.
It's been described as Jesus-like.
Okay.
It's usually I have video footage of that. I also recently discovered I dumped all the photos from my college PC recently. I grabbed that out of my parents' house. Finding software to upload things to on an old Windows XP machine from 10 plus years ago, not very easy. But it turns out you can download Dropbox software, and I managed to actually upload all of that stuff from there.
Cool.
So anyway, I found all these old photos, and there is one where this girl straightened my hair in college, and my hair used to be really, really, really long in college and high school. And when it's straightened out, it's beautiful. I would describe it as pretty.
Okay.
So I have found some photos of that, so I'll have to tweet those out next time. But when
Yeah.
it's wet, Jesus, which
Alright.
appropriate.
Yeah.
You ever gonna grow it out again?
No, I don't. There are only a couple things you can do with curly hair: it's grow it out or don't.
Right.
And I
That's
think
deep.
I'm over that
That's
phase.
deep. So, we've still got several days of PAX left, like another week and a half of PAX to go at this point. So,
This just connects right into PAX South, right?
exactly. Basically, there's a train that all these people are getting on, and we're going to San Antonio. And going straight to PAX South.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Go see a Spurs game.
Yeah, we're going to catch the Spurs. We're starting a new Spur posse.
Duncan!
Who's with it? What? Basketball!
Yeah, that's what that was about.
Sports!
Sports. Yes, sports. what are you guys planning to do with the rest of the show? I mean, like we're on some panels and stuff like that. Is there anything you want to get around and see?
I want to play that. I want to play that Harmonix shooter.
Yeah,
Harmonix making a shooter.
It's just Eric
Like what?
Pope hanging out with a laptop,
I mean, they made that
guess.
chroma thing and didn't put it out.
Yeah.
So this looks like, I mean, they've got a release date for this, so this will probably actually come out.
They started
so.
working on the game earlier this year,
Yeah, yeah.
like in May or something
Right.
crazy like that.
It's like the Chroma team was like, we want to make a different game. So I don't know what it was.
All
But
right.
yeah, that's what it seems like.
Huh.
Yeah.
That last question about Patrick's hair just gave me an idea, and I want to put Alex on the spot right now. So when I win the Rumble and go on to face you, I'm challenging you right now, hair versus hair match.
Like, that's not even a thing, because if you asked me to shave my head right now, I would just say yes.
Who's got the razor?
All right.
Really? You do it right now?
The only reason I don't shave my head is because my girlfriend hates the way I look bald.
How do we get a razor like immediately?
If anyone has an electric razor, I'll just do it. I don't care.
Somebody please make
I
that
will shave
happen.
it into a mohawk
Internet,
right
make
now.
that
I don't give
happen.
a
Come
fuck.
on. Yeah. I'll do the whole thing.
Like, I have the worst hairline. I would love to get rid of this. I can't, though,
I
because
thought I was
she
throwing
hates
out
it
a
when I'm
challenge
bald.
or something, and then you're just like, yeah, let's fucking do
You're
it.
gonna have to
No.
Ah, geez.
No, if anything, I win if I lose that match.
All right. I hope that we somehow materialize a razor by the end of tonight.
All right, yeah. Someone go find one. I'll do it. I don't care. Is there like a supercuts around here we can
Don't-
break into?
I don't understand how any of this. Let's just
bring-
do this at the panel tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
right.
that's just
All right.
get that in there or something if you really want to
All right.
do that to yourself.
What if we all shaved our
Do
heads?
what to myself? I was shaving my head for like 5 years at GameSpot. Like, this isn't.
Yeah,
This
no,
isn't.
I remember.
Yeah. All right.
No, so I mean, what else is going on? I mean, Brad, you just more Dota.
Yeah. Techies, am I right? Oh. Patrick booked an appointment to see Firewatch.
Yeah, we're going to see Campo Santo's first game.
Yeah, I'm
They're
so excited for that.
unveiling it, I think, tomorrow morning at 10:30, I think. So Campo Santo's, Sean Vanneman, Jake Rodkin, Idle Thumbs, where we steal all of our best jokes. And they're showing off their brand new game, Firewatch. So we're going to go see that. I don't know if we're playing it, but we're at least seeing it tomorrow. So I'm excited to see what those guys are working on. And an entire game made of Ali Mas's art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like really fucking
Yeah.
amazing. So he was telling me over IM, I will never draw a tree ever again.
Yeah, I bet. No, that's fuck trees. How about the rest of you guys? You guys looking to?
I set up an appointment with Nintendo, and they seem really excited to show me Hyrule Warriors, which, Jeff,
I bet they are.
They're very
Please
excited to
come
show
by and see Hyrule Warriors.
anyone that
We
game.
need someone to come look at this fucking thing.
which I said I want to go there with you, and I want to play the same demo as you, and maybe save it for the podcast or whatever. Because I think it seems like a harmless, stupid thing that might be kind of like Dynasty Warriors is not a good series; it never has been. But there's a novelty value.
yeah,
to
I mean,
being-
I'll agree with you that yeah, it's a harmless, stupid thing.
But I think I understand why they're doing it. I don't think it like besmirches the Zelda name or anything. I think it's a smart thing to do. I'd rather play that than another fucking Samurai Warriors or Dynasty Warriors or whatever.
For all the time that you spend playing
Yeah, I was gonna
those
say, like,
games.
I never. That's the
Is-
thing. I've never
Is someone
wanted to play
holding you
those.
down and forcing you at gunpoint? Like, play fucking Dynasty Warriors.
Brad
saying-
and I have at various times actually operated as Dynasty Warriors editors at publications that we have worked at. It is
You're laughing a little too hard at that, Jeff.
that is the punishment game. That is the game you give to the editor that you don't want, like no one else will take it.
I really enjoyed, like, 2 weeks ago, you just, like, forwarded to, like, the staff email, just, like, a download code for, like, a Samurai Warriors
It's like,
game.
here's Warriors Orochi 3, guys. Go ahead.
I saw that. I was like, oh, did he get two? Like, he must have.
I did, actually.
Oh, okay.
I had installed it on PS4
Okay.
and played a little bit of it. It went like, what the fuck? What? Like, it even has a different name on it. And it's just, God damn it, man.
Is
Didn't
Lubu in
you-
there?
No, I don't think Lubu is in it. I think Warriors Orochi is like a separate, it's the non-historical. That's the line they draw, right? That's the important, let's get down to brass tacks here.
Well, there's Gundam.
There's Gundam, and that's,
Yeah.
that's the Gundam.
That's a whole other kind of
soul
bullshit.
separate thing.
Non-canon.
There's Dynasty Warriors, which really happened over and over again.
Yellow
and-
Turban
like
Rebellion,
8
man.
times.
That
And then I
shit.
think Warriors Orochi is where they're just like, man, our hands are really tied by this Yellow Turban Rebellion. If only we could make up a bunch of bullshit and have people kill those guys too. And that's what Hyrule Warriors looks like to me, because like they have kind of like the bigger bosses and stuff like that in Hyrule Warriors, right? Like this Warriors Orochi has some of that stuff too. So it's more. It seems like it's just in line with that, and that's not good. That's not good.
There's got to be an audience for it though, considering I have not wanted to play.
They're called Zelda fans.
Yeah, I mean,
they will buy anything.
Is there anyone here that's not a Zelda fan?
No, I'm not being like. It's not. I'm not saying that to be like negative, but like it's a more. It's kind of. It's a cynical cash grab. Like it might be totally just fine, but like it is what it is. It is a Dynasty Warriors game with Zelda characters.
It just seems like that's the sort of thing that I look at and go like, shouldn't they be like protective of the Legend of Zelda? Like, isn't it kind of like one of the biggest things they have going? Shouldn't they just like maybe not like smear garbage all over it? I mean, I know Skyward Sword came out, but
they made CDI games and everyone still loves Zelda. I mean,
they didn't make those though. Well, I guess they're not.
I know, but I
making
mean, they
Hyrule
came
Warriors
out.
either.
Yeah, they made that
Zelda
shitty
even
cartoon
appear on that thing?
On what? Hyrule Warriors?
I
don't. You play as Link, right?
I don't
play
think
as
well, there's
of
a lot of
characters.
I don't think it
basically
actually
everything,
says The Legend of Zelda on that thing, though.
But I mean, it's set in the universe. I mean, it's not. You know.
I would actually take the different approach to Zelda. I think they're way too precious about the Zelda series. Like part of Skyward Sword's problems. Like I generally enjoyed that game, but like it's a very conservative game. Like they've gotten very conservative with that series. If anything, like throw the shackles off and do something weird.
Although
with it.
when they did that with Majora's Mask, you hated it.
That's not that weird. That game wasn't that weird.
That's not weird. That time mechanic is ridiculous.
But they layered that on top of one of the greatest games ever made.
Are you saying Ocarina?
And sullied
Yes, yes.
They sullied Ocarina.
I mean, given the two, I would pick Ocarina, but I think just the novel value of Majora's Mask makes it like they were willing to take a risk.
They at least,
with this beloved
they at least
series.
did something weird with
it's
it.
great that it's great that they took the risk. I just wish the game was good. Like that's
I
my
think
problem.
you're mistaking
with it.
novelty with
And-
bullshit.
Damn.
I think the mechanic, I think the novelty, the time thing, added a huge thing to that game that no other Zelda game in the series has,
Wait, so
has changed.
you
it.
like Majora's Mask?
I fucking love Majora's
Oh,
Mask.
this is so good.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yes.
Why did we hire him again?
Wait, do you not like it?
Not especially.
You don't like Majora's Mask?
No.
I'd say it's top 5.
Wow. All right.
Top
I'll
5
tell you what,
Zelda
it's
games.
Link to the Past. Link to the Past for sure. Best game ever. Best video game ever. Ocarina. Link Between Worlds is really fucking good.
It is.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask, Wind Waker.
What? No. What? No.
Okay, what's your top 3?
I would say your top 3 are right.
Link to the
And then I
Past.
would say probably the original Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was such a time and place thing. If you go back to that one, that's really rough. To where Link to the Past, you can still go back to
No,
now.
you
and
know
it's
what?
like,
there is
all
still
right.
a totally complete game in the original Legend of
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah, oh,
like,
yeah,
it's rough comparatively, sure, but it is still one of the
I mean,
greatest
they had to
games
pack
ever.
a
Yeah,
paper
yeah,
map
of course.
in with it. You
By
know,
a
it was that
wide
kind of
margin.
game, right?
No one liked Link's Awakening?
It's overrated. It's
Damn.
overrated.
Damn.
But also,
Twilight Princess?
how about this? How about Adventure of Link? You know?
It's not as bad as
kind of in the
that
same
was- that was
Majora's
a cool
Mask
Again,
fucking
at least
territory.
it's weird. It's different. Like, I
That's
like
that's my weird Zelda. That's the weird Zelda for me. That's my weird Zelda.
Zelda 2 gets too much shit in the way that Mario 2 gets too much shit.
Right.
Mario 2
Yeah.
is a fucking awesome
It
game.
is.
Yeah.
It absolutely
And so,
is.
yeah.
It absolutely
and
is.
people like to say like, oh, it's Doki Doki Panic or whatever. It's like, I don't give a shit.
No
Mario's
one knows
gonna-
what that is in
Yeah,
America.
I know, and it's just a fantastic fucking game and
Yeah.
weird as hell. Yeah. So Zelda 2 kind of got the same bad rap.
Totally.
For
I
no
think
reason.
that's a super cool game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably in my top 5, and not like all this other horse shit. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. They should do weird stuff with Zelda, and if Hyrule Warriors signifies that they're willing to take more risks, then great. But if it instead it's just like, well, to a certain group of people, this Dynasty Warriors shit is really popular, so it's two popular things being merged together. Which that's how I get.
that's usually how Miyamoto
That seems
talks.
like how they're
That
positioning
sounds
it.
about right.
Yeah, no, he sits in his garden for a while and goes like, "Oh, we're gonna make so much motherfucking money off this shit." Smashes his guitar and just goes, "I'm going inside, man.
Let's go get drunk.
Yo, trip on this. Hyrule, but like Dynasty Warriors, like okay, like
Is
you know how
he speaking in English when he does this?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's super fluent. They just don't like to tell the people about it. He's like, yo. All right. You know how Link has had like a 3-hit combo and like a little swipey thing, but like he's not really fucking hitting a lot of shit. You know, it's mainly just, you know, you would put the sword out and then lasers would shoot out of it and then you do it again. What if we just made it so you could hit that fucking button over and over again and he just swings forever and we'll put enough guys in there that he's always hitting something?
No,
And
wait. Do the guys do anything?
They stand around and wait for you to just fucking kill them all.
That's
Oh, dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Get those wizards at Tecmo Koei on the phone. We're gonna make this a reality. Next up, Dead or Alive Metroid. I don't know. Like what, you know, keep it going. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's. I like generally the idea of other developers doing stuff with Nintendo's stuff, like the way they've gone and done stuff with Namco and stuff like that over the years.
You mean like
Even-
Star Fox Adventures?
I like that they're trying it.
Or even Capcom doing like Minish Cap is a
Yeah,
great
Minish
Zelda
Cap
game.
is good.
That was Capcom.
Yeah,
And
Minish
eight-
Cap is a great
Like
game.
Flagship
Yeah.
and stuff like
Oracle
that.
of
doing those
Ages,
games,
Oracle
yeah.
of Seasons, those were great.
Yeah.
So.
But like by and large, like I just like they're taking something that has the potential to like they're taking something that's like one of the top 5 franchises in video games and literally just fucking wiping garbage on it.
Right, but like, but like the last.
They're like here's the Legend of Zelda, and then they have a trash can that they found at PAX, so it's full of just fucking filth.
Maybe
And
like
it's going-
one of the bean bags.
Yeah, exactly. And they set The Legend of Zelda on one of those filthy bean bags, and then just dump this shit on and go, here, buy it, you fuckers. And then everyone goes, all right, yeah, all right. I've always been into Dynasty Warriors. I mean, I love Legend of Zelda, but I mean, who hasn't been into Dynasty Warriors? I love it all along. And people just convince themselves that this is something they might want to play.
Because
but,
it's a Wii U game.
okay, yeah, all right, fine. Yeah, I guess all bets are off. It's like, hey, here's the game coming out for the Wii U. All right, we'll buy it. Yeah, okay. I mean, what the fuck else? Are we
Like
gonna do?
3 of those a year, so
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like that. That just bums me out, you know, because I feel like if they wanted to take risks with that franchise, there are directions they could go, you know. And this to me just seems like the worst possible outcome.
What's a risk you would like to see them take? What's a combination you would like to see? Where would you like to see Zelda go other than just Zelda games?
I think that, you know, like it's the stuff that they showed about the upcoming Zelda and kind of making it seem like that might be more of an open world sort of thing. Like I think like making a more modern role-playing game take on Zelda is the direction they should be pushing in, and getting away from like, well, there are this many dungeons and you get this item to do this and this item to do this. Like if they need to break out of that cycle, I think, like by and large. And from there it doesn't really matter what game they want to make. I mean, they've got a rich enough universe and enough characters, like you could field a 5v5 MOBA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Darksiders definitely did some of the stuff like I think people wanted Legend of Zelda to be doing. Like, I would love to see another Darksiders game. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, what, the Vigil, the team at Vigil
that poor
that did
team.
Darksiders, they were Crytek USA out of Austin, and then that whole thing went sideways, and now they are Gunpoint Games?
Yeah, and they're talking. They said they were actively talking with
Nordic?
who now owns the Darksiders.
Yeah, so
franchise.
if you could get them back to Darksiders, I think that'd be really cool. Like, I don't know, like, Darksiders was always, like, a really neat thing.
Darksiders 1 was a great game. Darksiders 2 did not care for.
I ended up liking it.
It was an interesting. They went for like the loot direct. Like it was a
Right.
cool idea. It just did not pan out. And also, it frustrated me to no end. The Darksiders 1 ends with like one of the best video game cliffhangers of like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And then 2 does not try and resolve that. It's a prequel to the first game. It's like infuriating.
Yeah.
And then it went under, and
I mean, that's
they
what they
never
get for
addressed it.
announcing that as like, oh, well, we have the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, so, 4 games. Like, just being upfront with, like, that's where they wanted to go with it. Of course, they're never going to make it. It's like Advent Rising syndrome at that point. Like,
Or
they
Too
would
Human.
Yeah, yes. Which,
Make it a
still
trilogy.
waiting on those games. They're coming.
Yeah.
Got your pre-order
Too
in?
Human 2. That to me was like the most heartbreaking thing when I spoke with Dennis Dyack and asked him what his favorite class in Too Human was, and he said it's not in the game yet. And this was after it was like kind of clear that like they probably won't get to make another one. And I was like, that's a really weird one. But I feel like we went back and played a little bit of Too Human on a show like within
Yeah, I
the last
remember
year
that.
or so.
I can't remember what that was for.
I think I just wanted to like return
Was
to
it
the
just
scene
on
of the
Unprofessional
crime,
Fridays?
and
Yeah.
see a little bit of it, and yeah, there's something about that game that for whatever reason I kind of want to go back to it. It's funny because you look at like Diablo 3, like it's kind of Too Human is like that done wrong in some ways, you know, like that kind of loot-driven action RPG sort of stuff. Like there's similar ideas there.
I liked that stick combat. Like the
It was
way
an
that you
interesting
kind
idea
of
that then
they didn't
they-
pull it off, but like
Yeah.
the idea that you were floating between enemies by like moving the stick around, like
Right.
It was a really cool. That I would have liked to have seen explored in a sequel, but
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm saying that, yeah, it would have been neat if
You
they had
want
made
Too
another
Human
Too
too.
Human. That's weird. I
How
don't know.
have we gotten to this place where you're saying that?
I don't know.
That's a long question.
That's a long question. That
like an
question is
essay.
too short. We're looking for one that's just in the middle.
We're gonna have to answer all of these eventually, aren't we?
Dan, why do you think Otacon is wrong about anime?
I believe that Otacon probably really enjoys his Japanese animes and probably knows a lot about them, but he has not played Metal Gear Solid, which is just a cool guy action movie, and it's nothing like a anime. So how could he have played it? He's in the game, so he doesn't have the perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems
It's just a cool action movie.
There's
That's-
no holes in that logic at all.
Thank you,
I mean,
thank you.
that seems totally right on to me. I don't know about you guys. Jeff, does a good game in the party genre exist, like Mario Party and Fusion Frenzy? If not, what would make that type of game good?
I mean, like, does You Don't Know Jack count?
That's exactly what I was
Yeah,
gonna ask.
I
Okay.
mean, I think that's more of like a game show type thing. Like, yes, you're having a party, but I think when we
Or
think
what,
about,
what does party mean?
I think at that point you're talking about like mini game collections and that sort of garbage.
I mean, like, is Towerfall part of that? I mean, because there's
No.
lots of different variants, Mount Your Friends, stuff like that.
I guess it is specifically mini game collection games.
Yeah.
Sports Friends, then, isn't it? Like,
Sports
Yeah.
Friends is like 5 games. Like,
And those aren't necessarily mini games. It's just like a collection of disparate things. I think that like if you can consider the party genre to include a lot of stuff that has local multiplayer, then yeah, you definitely get a lot of cases where you're like, okay, like Towerfall's cool, Samurai Gun's cool, like Mount Your Friends, like all that stuff I think fits right into that. But if we're talking about mini game collections, they're all shit. Crash Bash,
Sonic Shuffle?
Sonic Shuffle.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That exists.
Carnival games.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. I mean,
Carnival
yeah, but that's
Games.
Carnival
EA
Games.
Playground?
I think Carnival Games is just strictly a minigame collection without anything tying it together like Mario Party has.
Mario Party's got a lore.
I think if
Carnival.
you're, yeah, but I think like if we're thinking about the classic form, it is a bunch of shitty minigames with some kind of bullshit thing tying them all together, like Mario Party. And fuck, man, those are terrible. But that thing tying them together, like I think that's just like a minigame collection at that point, and like, because I think at that point you're like, well, does Wii Sports fall into that, or does it not have enough games to be considered a collection or whatever? And WTF is that's like micro games at that point. That's like
basically
WarioWare.
like
Yeah, I was saying like
Yeah.
WarioWare, like
Yeah, so like,
Frobisher Says.
yeah,
WarioWare,
Frobisher Says, another
WarioWare
game
on
like
GameCube
that,
is
yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those games are
Yeah.
amazing, but they're also not things that you really play multiplayer all that often either, right?
No,
it's more
WarioWare on
just kinda-
GameCube. Like the remake of the GBA game on GameCube is awesome for 4 players.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff in there, but like I think when you think about the classic form of WarioWare,
Hold on, I'm gonna stick it in.
it's me
I got it.
alone,
Yeah.
nude, focused on this thing.
Yeah. But it works
So-
well for multiplayer.
Like I love those games, like those types of collections that are just super weird. I think that's a great time. So yeah, but yeah, like the kind of the minigame collection. I can't get into it. I can't get into it. There's a lot of beers being handed around up here.
Scared.
Yeah. Sportsman is kind of I think it's in the case of like it's more of a minigame collection, less of a party game. Well, depending on your definition, it's not a classic party game. So it seems like you guys keep getting ahead of the curve. What's it like in meetings trying to convince higher-ups that 4 hours of drinking beer and playing old games will make money?
That's a really good
That's a really good question.
I don't remember ever asking for permission.
Yeah, I think we just
just
kind of
kinda
did it.
do it.
It's the sort of thing where we kind of started, just kind of lead by the gut type stuff and did our thing, and then we got acquired, and I think like people tried to look at it from like a standard business sort of way, and there were people that would look at it and just go like, I don't understand why this works, but it works, so keep going. And basically, that's kind of how it's been, and it's actually been really over the last handful of months here. I think the bulk of this year, and a little bit of last year, that I think it's finally been kind of paying off. Like we're able to get this space and do this thing. Like we wouldn't be able to do stuff like this if we didn't have support from people back at the office, and that's been a big change for us that has led to good things. Like we wouldn't have been able to hire people if we hadn't have been able to get support from people back at the office, and that's been the thing is we're kind of getting a little bit more of that attention now, and it lets us kind of grow. Like a lot of these plans, a lot of the things we're doing now, whether it's the videos themselves or just kind of general just tone and direction, are things that we've wanted to do for like 3 years. And it's just now that we're finally getting to a point where, okay, we've got the people in place. We've got situations where we've got like Giant Bomb East now, and they can kind of make some videos so that we have a little more time to do weird stuff, and vice versa. And Patrick in Chicago kind of running the news operation and doing videos out of there. Like all these pieces kind of enable us to do some of the weird, dumb shit that it seems like we've been trying to do for a good long time now. And so I think, as this stuff grows, like we'll get to a point where like we'll be able to do dumber and dumber stuff, and bigger things too. Like that's what makes it dumb, right? It's not just like, here's a stupid thing we did. It's like, no, it's like, here's this very elaborately planned, very large scale, stupid fucking thing. And
You gotta
like playing Mario Party on the couch.
you gotta
Monsters!
you gotta be smart.
You don't have to
about
play
being
it.
dumb.
Yes, you have to be smart
It's
about
gonna
being
bleed over
dumb. It's
eventually.
not as simple as just like farting out garbage, because you can do that all day long. It's easy. We do it more often than we should. But basically, yeah, I mean, there's still that stuff. Like, I would like to take this type of thing on the road. Yeah, and like get out there and like, do a college tour or do a bar tour and just go around to different cities and stuff like that, and do that sort of thing, And that's the sort of thing we've talked about for, 3 or 4 years or something at least, and it's one of those things you look at and you go like, we're sponsored for this thing. That's how we're able to do it. It's like it's this awesome combination of like, you guys subscribing and enabling us to do a lot of what we do, and then for these specific bigger things that get really pricey, we can say like, well, there might be a room for a sponsor on it or something like that, and that'll enable us to like rent a gigantic RV and drive across country.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you do the college tour, do you rent a bus?
Yeah.
I think we get an RV.
That'd be-
I think that's the way.
Yeah,
I
you get an RV
You
and-
can't be an asshole and fly to those destinations.
No, exactly.
no.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's a commitment.
Yeah.
It's a fucking dark commitment.
Yeah.
And,
Get an
and
RV.
and then you get to a point where like, we're going out and doing shows like this, and anyone can come, and then we're also like filming all of the RV hijinks for like, for you guys, and putting that stuff up separately, behind the scenes type stuff,
I mean, it's easy to imagine. There at this point, what's been nice is that game development used to be so segmented to like San Francisco,
Right.
to that area, and that's just not true anymore. It's Chicago, it's Montreal, it's Austin. Like there's stuff all over the country now that would, you'd be able to go to those places and get stuff out of that in
Yeah.
addition to what you were doing.
Yeah,
on
like the
road.
RV tour stops at the BioWare parking lot, and we don't tell them we're coming. We just say we're not leaving your parking lot until you come out here and give us an interview about why Casey Hudson left.
And then we dump the septic tank.
Yeah, then we dump the septic tank and fucking peel out. Later, motherfuckers. This is for the ending of Mass Effect 3. And then just go. So like these sorts of bigger things, I think that's, it's stuff we would love to do, and just, more just, you see it here and there around the edges where we just get into just some dumb theatrics and this sort of stuff and stunty weird shit. Like we have some stuff in the works that is pretty different from anything we've done. That'll probably be up over the next week or so that we shot, and that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, like we want to get out there and just fuck around, do stuff, and play games on an RV and just do weird stuff. And at this point, I feel like enough people have been willing to come along on the ride with us. Like it's the sort of thing that like we're still technically a video game website. Yeah. But you guys have been able to and show that you are interested in this sort of thing where like we can have Drew talk about his trip to North Korea and people are into it. We can we can get out there and do a wrestling podcast and some people are really into it and then everyone else complains and Brad's gonna start his anime podcast pretty soon. So we're pretty excited about that. And
the fact that we're getting
that
cheers
guy.
for wrestling and boos for anime lets me know that you are all okay people.
this is all right. Good.
I'm gonna start my daily Majora's Mask podcast.
Can I be on that?
Yeah,
I
sure.
can be on
Yeah,
that?
It'll last for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
You'll just rewind it and keep talking
That's
about
good.
the same 5 things that are interesting in that game every day. Every podcast will be like, man, the moon looks crazy, right?
That's the name of our podcast.
It looks crazy.
All right, I would listen to that. All right, I would probably listen to that.
Can we take the RV to North Korea?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
All
I
right.
mean, that probably there's probably no restrictions for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's the sort of stuff that we want to be able to do, and I think that it's rooted in video games. I don't want to just like we're not going to abandon them. It's like that's still what we do. It's still what brings people in the door. I think to some extent is we've been doing this collectively for a very long fucking time. And we still have a lot of things to say about video games on a regular basis. But like there's more to life than that, and there's more to us than that, and it's been great. I mean, you guys have been really great at kind of letting us explore that space and letting us know when we're getting too far out there and that sort of stuff, which is rare. And yeah, so like that's the sort of stuff that like we want to be able to expand. We want to be able to get out there and yeah, like go on the road and interview game developers like at their houses and go visit arcades and just like do all that sort of weird stuff. Like there's so much different stuff happening with video games that don't happen via a fucking press release and via like, oh, this new game came out and stuff. Like there's so much more to it. And I just want to be able to explore more of that. And that's been the direction that we've been kind of slowly meandering towards for a while now. And it seems like we're finally getting to a point where it's starting to happen. So that's been a lot of fun for us, and it's been a lot of fun for me. It's one of those things where like plans start to come together. Like from my perspective, like plans start to come together that were like again like 3 years old, and they happen exactly as you envisioned it. And you go, yeah, I was fucking right, fucking awesome, yeah, cool. That was pretty cool. I was pretty smart. I was pretty alright. Yeah, so it's been fun to do all that stuff. Yeah, I think we're gonna take a few questions, and then we'll probably wrap it up and just have some fucking drinks. Cool? All right, that's a bad question. That's whatever.
That's an essay.
That's a long question.
Really long.
Yeah. Dr. Trex, Action Bronson. I don't know. What's your take on the ethics of emulation? I mean, it's technically illegal, but so are a lot of things. Am I cut? Am I cute? Yes, no, maybe. Matthew, 2014. Is this Matt Rory right this?
There's a lot of Matthews.
It is
There's a lot of
Matthew,
Matthews
yes.
in this room.
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna say maybe.
We have all the Matthews in the audience. Come up here.
Yeah. Dan Reichert, have you ever tried easy cheese? Of course you have.
Oh, come on.
He's made out of
kidding me?
cheese.
Yeah. That's a blank. Oh, what's the best rap single of 2014 so far, you guys?
Ooh.
Is that this year?
That's an amazing video. That song, not so much.
That's not even hip hop. Did the Pusha T album come out this year?
Riff Raff, Neon Icon.
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
How to be the man.
Introducing the icon might be up there, but I like that Man of the Year song from Schoolboy Q a lot. I think that's technically this year. Yeah. I've heard talk about a freelance budget. What's the best way to try to do freelance work for you all? This is something that Patrick and I have gone back and forth on and haven't actually nailed down yet. But yeah, we want to get some money to get like more voices on the site and stuff like that. And and have some money to get columnists and stuff like that. I think is kind of how I envision it, is we would get columns from game developers and just other people around, other kind of journalists and stuff like that. Like, we wouldn't necessarily be doing freelance reviews or something like that, but.
And then one of the other things we're starting is that, like in Worth Reading, I started including like blogs from the community, and then to further that, I talked to Zombie Pie, and like he does a community, roundup every week. It's really great, and we promote that. But he's also going to send me a link of like the best of the best, and then each week I'm going to make a section dedicated in Worth Reading to community stuff. So it may not be, necessarily a freelance thing, but if you're writing stuff in the community, we're going to find more prominent places to promote that, along with a lot of other stuff. That's a lot of other great writers. So hopefully that that'll bring some more exposure.
Yeah,
to
that
like
stuff's kind of TBA, but I think there's a lot of interesting stuff happening out there. We'd like to get more people writing stuff for us in some spots, and just kind of add to the mix. It's like we're very video heavy, so it kind of leaves room for some text here and there. But we're kind of focused a lot on the video end of things, so it'd be cool to just get some people to contribute some stuff here and there. It's not like, hey, here's $8 to rewrite a press release. Like that's not what we're gonna run. Do they even get
$10?
Yeah. No, do they even get $8 anymore, or is like places being like, here's $3? Yeah, I don't know. What do you do with $8?
Feel bad about yourself?
Yeah, you write 40 stories a day, I guess, is probably how it goes. From Kane to Dan, is this called Sector G because of where Homer Simpson works? Sector 7G. No, there's a very long story about why it's called Sector G that I won't get into right now. Dan, what do you do when seated at a buffet?
When seated, well,
Wait, there's some words crossed out.
They were going to write why do, and they're like, no.
Okay.
Well, why do you buffet?
Well, buffets are like the pinnacle of going out to eat. Like Old Country Buffet is incredible. Pizza buffets like Pizza Ranch, CC's Pizza, that shit's incredible. Booing CC's Pizza, all right. No. Here's why like Old Country Buffet is the best fucking thing, or like Old Country Kitchen or whatever.
Old Country Buffet.
That's good. Hey, Old Country Buffet is fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Here's the deal. Right. You can hone in on those things that you love.
Yeah.
And so like me, I'm a macaroni and cheese guy.
Obviously.
So I can take a whole fucking plate and I can go up and just like literally make a whole plate of macaroni and cheese. And I'll take another one that's just all tacos, and I can take like a fucking handful of cheese and just throw it all on there. So I can eat just horse shit.
Do you put the macaroni in the tacos?
I've never done that. I don't think I've ever done that.
Would you do that?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that when we got dinner last night. We went to a bar earlier, and you had like a mac and cheese sort of like appetizer thing.
Bacon mac and cheese.
Yeah, and then we go to dinner later, and he's walking through all the mac and cheese again. I was like, but you got that earlier. It's like, yeah, of course I did.
And today I just had a giant bag of bacon mac and cheese Lay's. So mac and cheese is basically the best thing. But then when you're done,
I'm
get
with you on this.
And then afterwards,
I think bacon gets in the way, honestly.
Yeah, I just want the cheese. But at the end, you get infinite ice cream. They all have the things with the twist, and you can just put a shit ton of fucking Reese's or whatever you want in there. Like, it's infinite food for like $6. Like, how the fuck are you gonna beat that?
Exactly. And
Where are you paying
usually all the fucking
$6?
apple juice you can drink.
Yeah.
I used to go to a Fresh Choice fairly frequently with the guy who was technically my roommate, and I haven't seen him in like a year now, so I don't know.
Still pays you though.
He still theoretically, he says he's been putting cash in the lining of a suitcase because he thought that was a funny place to put it, and apparently he's got it. Anyway.
Oh my God.
So yes, the unlimited ice cream is fantastic because then at the end of the night, you have a bowl or whatever there, then you just you fill up a cone for the road. And then you're walking out in the parking lot, you got this little ice cream cone, you're like, yeah, I got this little ice cream cone, but you know what? I just ate like 93 pounds of fucking bullshit, and then you just throw it in the parking lot. Yeah. And maybe it lands on a car, whatever.
Yeah.
But you just fucking hurl that thing in the parking lot. And if you haven't thrown ice cream at cars, is it illegal to do that?
No.
I highly
It's a
recommend
gray
it.
area.
I highly recommend it.
melts.
It's just like emulation.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's it's a good time. It's a good time. But I don't know. Buffets are scary. I mean, I went to a pizza buffet every week for a lot of years, or like a year.
We went.
Yeah, you win a lot.
Like on the
and,
same day?
every Thursday.
Did they have the
All-you-can-eat
cinnamon like
All-you-can-eat
dessert
pizza.
pizzas?
No, they would not do a dessert pizza.
Oh,
This was
Dessert
legitimate.
pizza's the best. Yeah.
Nah, that's your
Dessert?
It was
It's like a big
it was-
cinnamon thing,
it
and
was
you get a bunch of like
exceedingly-
whatever stuff to dip it in.
It was extremely greasy pizza that was attached to a laser tag place.
yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
great.
so you can have
Yeah.
like a full large pizza and then go, let's go play some laser tag.
Yep.
Which was always a good fucking time. I mean, I just like laser tag and pizza. Like, how do you go wrong on that? Yeah, so I'm with you on the buffet food.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for the questions. Thanks everybody who submitted them.
That's what we closed on.
Obviously, well, yeah, no, that was the good
We're all
one.
go. We're gonna go to a buffet now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now we're going to the buffet. Like a slightly warm hunk of meat for everyone. Yeah. So I mean, obviously we can still hang out here for a while here till I think this room's going till midnight, and then they'll boot everybody out. So yeah, I mean, everybody get some drinks, keep getting some drinks, and hang around. We'll hang around, and yeah, don't forget. I mean, our panel's tomorrow night at 8. At 8. So it's the second level of the Sheridan, the Sasquatch. Theater. Yeah. So line up now. Yeah, and that'll be a good time. I think. I don't know everything that's happening on our panel, because why would I?
Several times it was alluded to me today. Do you know what's going on at your panel? I was like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's something happening at the panel. I don't know what.
There are people who do not work for us that have made very significant plans for our panel.
They've spent a fair amount of money on things
Yeah.
for the panel. So I maybe it'll be terrible. I don't know. I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know why. But we'll have some prizes to throw out, and that'll be dangerous. Again, so make sure you come out if you have a PAX badge. Definitely come out and see us. And then also along those lines at PAX, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. in what theater is that?
Watch me defend successfully my World Heavyweight Championship of the video game industry.
Better man win. Yeah.
I have it on good authority.
Not a strong guy. It's not doing anything.
I have it on good authority that Dr. Tracksuit is swimming into the country right now. Yeah, he is swimming in. He's got a backpack full of something. I don't know, some kind of workout powder. And it has to stay dry. That's all he said. He just called me and said, got to keep my powder dry. And I was like, I don't know what that means, doctor. And he said, hung up. So he says he'll be there. There'll be a collection of real assholes at this thing. Dave Lang will be there, so.
Yeah.
And then what else is going on panel-wise? Patrick, you got one.
I got one at 7 p.m. on Sunday at the Sphinx Theater. Just talking about internet stuff. Got some bunch of different folks.
Finally, we can talk about some internet stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna finally solve the internet. It's gonna be great.
Great. I look forward to it. And then anything else?
Yeah, 7:30 on Sunday. I don't know which theater, but I will be on the 404ing It panel with Pat Bear. What?
Hedgehog Theater. Hedgehog Theater.
Hedgehog. That's an animal. There's a picture of me today standing next to some hedgehogs.
Ron Jeremy's here?
Yeah, I was very happy about it.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy.
So that's the panel load, and we'll be hanging out around. So thanks everybody for coming by, and thanks for signing
Cheers.
up. Thanks for being premium members, you guys. It's great. It's really you guys let us do a lot of really weird shit. So thanks. And everybody watching at home, thanks for watching. We'll be back in the office next week.
That one.
Doing podcasts and stuff, so.
Give me
Thanks,
one more
everybody.
yes chance. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you.
That's real.